I want you to imagine someone handing you one of those like plastic AOL dial-up discs back in 1998.
Oh man, those were everywhere.
Right. And they point to this clunky online bookstore taking, 5 full minutes to load on a bulky desktop monitor. And they tell you that this exact website will soon be worth $2 trillion.
I mean, you'd probably laugh them out of the room.
Exactly.
You would call them completely delusional. Because in 1998, buying a book on the internet meant putting your credit card into a machine you didn't fully understand.
Yeah, and just hoping a package might show up like 3 weeks later.
Right. It felt risky, it was slow, and it was super niche.
But today's source text, the AI revolution, wealth and opportunity in the machine age, argues that we are making that exact same dismissive mistake right now, like this very second, with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, the parallels are pretty striking.
And we're doing a deep dive today into this text, not to, rehash parlor tricks. We all know AI can generate a picture of a cat on a skateboard or spit out some Python code.
Right. You use it, I use it. We really don't need to be reminded of the basics here.
Exactly. Our mission for you, listening right now, is to map out the actual economic fallout of those capabilities. Because the text makes this massive, unapologetic claim, which is that AI is the biggest wealth opportunity of the next decade.
It's a bold statement.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this. Because if we want to understand the immediate, practical reality of what happens to the people who adapt versus those who get left behind, we have to look at our own historical blindness first.
And that historical blindness is, well, it's what psychologists call hindsight bias. And the source leans really heavily on this to frame our current moment.
Hindsight bias.
Yeah, because as humans, our brains are incredibly efficient at compressing the absolute chaos of the past into a neat linear narrative.
Right, making it make sense after the fact.
Exactly. We look back at the rise of the internet or the smartphone and we think, oh, the trajectory was obvious, but opportunities only ever look obvious after the victors have been decided. When you are actually living through the disruption, like back in 1998, it doesn't feel like a neat historical timeline. It just feels like noise.
And fear, right. And friction. I mean, think about the friction of the early internet. The screeching dial-up tones, getting kicked offline because someone, picked up the house phone.
Oh, yeah, the spectacular failures like pets.com.
It was so messy. Living through a major tech revolution feels less like walking down a paved road and more like, well, it's like standing at the very base of a massive, jagged mountain.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, when you're at the bottom, looking up, you cannot see the path to the summit. All you see is a wall of rocks, dead ends, and a bunch of people just tripping over themselves.
Right. But then you fast forward 10 years and we look at a top-down map of that same mountain and say, oh, look, there was a clear path to the top. Why didn't everyone just take that route?
Exactly.
What's fascinating here is how the text applies that mountain analogy to today. Because we are all standing at the base of the AI mountain right now.
Yep, the landscape is completely littered with hallucinating chatbots and deepfake anxiety.
Competing corporate models, all of it. It is pure noise. We don't have the top-down map yet. And that is where the danger lies for the average professional.
Assuming that because the path isn't perfectly clear, it must not exist at all.
Exactly.
So if we're still at that rocky base and the map isn't drawn yet, how do we evaluate the tools we actually have in our hands today? Because the source text gives us an inventory of current capabilities, right?
Yeah, it lists what AI does, writing copy, analyzing massive data sets, rendering video.
But listing those things doesn't really explain the underlying mechanics of why it creates such a massive wealth opportunity.
Right, because the mechanism of value creation here isn't the output itself. It's the iterative velocity.
Iterative velocity. Unpack that for me.
Well, when the source says AI writes code or analyzes data, it's not just about saving a programmer an hour of typing. It is about the ability to test 10 different complex solutions in the time it used to take to write out the baseline framework for just one.
Oh, wow. So it's about volume and speed.
Exactly. That mechanism, increasing your iteration rate, is how the economic gap actually forms.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the text warns that this gap isn't just like a slight competitive edge, it is compounding.
Right. It points out that the gap between the people who actively integrate AI into their daily workflows and the people who actively ignore it is growing larger. And not in a straight line.
Exponentially.
Yes. The question isn't whether AI is changing the landscape. The real question is who is capturing the benefit of that velocity.
So to understand the stakes for you, the listener, we have to look at the mathematical reality of a compounding technological gap.
It operates exactly like compound interest in finance. Let's imagine two competing graphic design agencies. We'll call them Agency A and Agency B.
Okay, Agency A and Agency B.
Agency B does things the traditional way, talented people working hard, but Agency A integrates AI.
And to be clear, they don't use it to replace their artists, right?
Right, no, they use it to generate mood boards in seconds, or to automate client email follow-ups, and to instantly resize campaign assets across like 50 different social media formats.
So Agency A is maybe, what, 5% faster in week 1?
Exactly 5%. And in week 1, Agency B barely notices the difference. They might even mock Agency A's initial AI-generated mood boards for, having weird extra fingers.
Right, the AI hands are always a mess.
Always. But a 5% weekly efficiency gain compounds. By month 3, Agency A isn't just delivering faster. Their margins are wider, which allows them to lower their prices slightly while maintaining profit.
And they probably use that extra time to pitch more clients.
Exactly. By month 6, they're reinvesting those profits into better proprietary models. By the end of the year, Agency A is operating in a completely different paradigm.
Wow.
Agency B isn't just slightly behind, they are structurally priced out of their own market.
It's like you're on a treadmill, and the person next to you has figured out how to turn the belt into an escalator.
That's exactly it.
If you insist on just jogging, you are actively moving backward. Which, that naturally leads to the immediate leap everyone makes when they hear about Agency B going out of business.
The fear that AI is essentially a grim reaper for human employment.
Exactly. It is the most pervasive anxiety surrounding the machine age. But the source text aggressively challenges this narrative of human obsolescence.
It does. It argues that history proves technology acts as a fertilizer, not just a reaper.
A fertilizer, I like that.
Yeah, it destroys certain tasks, absolutely. But it creates entirely new, unforeseen ecosystems in the process.
And the text points right back to the internet revolution to prove this.
Yeah.
Before the widespread adoption of broadband, the idea of being a YouTuber or a cloud architect or an app developer.
Those weren't just rare. Those were completely impossible concepts. The infrastructure for those careers did not exist.
Right. And the source insists that AI is poised to fertilize the exact same kind of unmapped terrain, creating new businesses, totally new career paths, and, as it boldly phrases it, new millionaires.
And that phrase, new millionaires, is where we need to be incredibly precise about what the text is actually promising.
And I'm really glad you brought that up because I want to push back hard on that specific phrase. It sounds exactly like the tech bro passive income hype we see endlessly scrolling on social media.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, use this secret ChatGPT prompt to make $10,000 a month while you sleep.
Right, it's just clickbait.
If the AI is just heavy machinery, then having the keys to a bulldozer doesn't automatically make you a successful real estate developer. Does simply having a tab open with an image generator actually generate wealth?
No, because frankly, if that were true, everyone with an internet connection would be retiring tomorrow.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the text clarifies that opportunity alone has never equaled success. Access is not a strategy.
Access is not a